Atheist Antidote starts now.
He's a shot of youthful relevance in the arm of the conservative movement. And now your fearless host, Brock Lawley.
You don't get to make a decision which affects a man's life, which affects, basically, and as sad as it was, this thing affected society. But you don't get to go and make an intellectual decision if there's not enough evidence to convict society, and then talk out of the other side of your mouth and say, because you went back to your home and they maybe gave you a tough time. It really bothered me, and I knew immediately why she had done it. I felt like she had done it because she lost street cred.
Yeah, it was like make your skin crawl cowardice. It's like that kind of stuff you thought you left behind when you were in high school. And you know, I think this whole case is haunting me a little bit. It sounds like it is you too, because it's so much more than the case itself. It's like social commentary, and it's taking the temperature of our time and the way people think, and how it's really just evolving into mob rule. I mean, it does not matter 50% of the country at all. It does not matter to them at all. What happened in this case.
Truth does
not matter. So what's interesting about this, what I found to be actually interesting and helpful, even though it's been a little bit demented in the outcome, is that with politics, you can't get the temperature because so many people don't care. So with politics, like 30% of the people are paying attention, so that makes 70% of the people completely out of the equation. So you just can't get the temperature of the populace. But with this, it was so populous, it was so pop culture, reality television, it was so on E! Entertainment Tonight, it was everywhere. So you got to really see how
otherwise reasonable people were just regurgitating a simply untrue line, which was, this guy just went out of his way to kill a black boy. This white dude went out of his way to kill a black boy. And I'm like, what do you know about this case? Give me evidence, give me a timeline, give me, the socioeconomic background, they didn't know anything. What they knew is a white guy went out of his way to shoot a 14-year-old boy who was walking down the street with Skittles in his pocket. And that's
I'm telling you, though, it's mob rule. It's so frightening because you could see, if you extrapolate all this stuff we're talking about into the macro and where the society could go, you could see how scapegoating could take off. You could totally see how society could just turn on a group of people or a religion or an individual.
If all of a sudden the president would stand up in front, like he did the Zimmerman case, and say, listen, my fellow Americans, Christians, conservatives, those who believe in the old way of thinking are a problem. They're hate-filled. They're poison to our society. They're the cause of all our socioeconomic problems. We need to get rid of them and eliminate them. Initially, we're going to do this and this and this, and these are our plans. Then all of a sudden, the news shows get a hold of it, and the pop culture shows get a hold of it. Enough celebrities back them up and go. Before you know it,
there would be a huge, serious movement behind it. No doubt about it. Is a great example of what you're laying out. It's exactly what I'm talking about. What it showed me was
that's what it's
a mindless herd of zombies, and there's no other explanation for it. And it's all emotion. It's all just...
Yeah, but see, the thing is, though, this is the thing that also really bothers me, is that the same people that know about the NSA scandal, the same people that know about all the different things, Benghazi, all the different scandals, same people that know about what's going on with the politics, and the same people those same people come down on this on the right side. They actually know the facts. They took the time, since this was a popular thing right now to be talking about. They took the time to figure out what happened. They came down on the right side. But the same people who don't give a crap, who just regurgitate what Jon Stewart says and have no idea what's going on, those same people always come down on the wrong side, and those numbers are higher than the numbers of the same people. There's the apathetic crowd who could care less about it at all. But with this issue, you're right. It was a way to gauge how people feel about things.
The election was like my first introduction to the fact that, man, we're really in trouble. And then slowly that low info sort of information has gotten out there. And now with this case, I felt like it was the first chance to actually put under the microscope society at large, all of us, because everybody sort of got involved in this, young and old, educated, uneducated, informed, uninformed. Everybody had skin in the game here. And it was a bad representation of who we are. I mean, like on every level, it was bad. I mean, it shows you how divided the races were. It shows you how divided the informed from the uninformed were. It shows you how evil. This is what shocks me to this day. You remember, just pull the family out of the fire. The family's getting death threats. And that's when we see it's still pounding the war drum to take this guy down like a rogue villain.
They're saying that this whole thing was fictitious and it was created to make him look good. Basically, they lost. if I would have to sum it up, I'd say, well, they lost the issue, so they're just kicking and screaming and going down hard. But the thing that really scares me is it was not an issue. This was just something that happened. It wasn't some issue. Some dude shot some
tell you, the media can create something out of whole cloth. They did with this.
But it was sad. I mean, I do feel sad for that. That's a sad thing to happen. Not every 17-year-old kid that beats up somebody is going to get shot, but this particular one did. And it's sad. But why do we have to make a big issue? Okay, fine, you're going to make a big issue. I'm going to actually look at the facts. I'm going to form my opinion. Okay, fine, I have my opinion. But it had nothing to do with race. Sit down with someone, take my time. That they don't know what's going on. They're so angry about it.
The herd, it's exactly like The Walking Dead, you know. The helicopter came flying through and the herd starts moving, and it is just nothing can stop the herd. The herd gets blasting through it, and facts are powerless against it. Information is powerless against it. And then you have people, you know, prodding and poking the herd, knowing that those are the malicious ones, knowing what they're doing. I haven't seen cutting up footage, for example. That's malicious. Somebody should have went to prison for that. And the reason that it's high-stakes poker is because people really can get killed. Look at this family getting death threats.
You can't deny things the president chose to do and the Defense Department chose to do, and not the Defense Department, the Attorney General chose to do. That didn't have some effect in stirring the pot?
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very dangerous. The same exact thing happened in Detroit, like we were talking about earlier. Suburban white people, wealthy, upper-class, middle white people, the enemy.
Right.
They have something you don't have, and they don't want to give it to you. Really hate you. They genuinely hate you. All of them are secret racists. All of them would kill you if they had the opportunity to do it. And the only reason something like this would happen is because this guy is a racist. That's a really irresponsible.
Exactly. We have a major news network that 24 hours a day, all they do is beat that drum. They beat that racial divide drum. Then we have a president that gets up there and just fires off at the mouth irresponsibly. And I'll tell you, man, it just breaks your heart. You forget about all the politics of it. This guy could be such a leader because of the situation. He could have been Martin Luther King on steroids, and instead he decided to be the worst of us, to be the bottom-feeding worst of us. I mean, that's just so sickening. When you think about that, it's heartbreaking, and then it starts to gnaw at you and get you angry because you're thinking, how could you choose that, you know? Your ideology is that powerful that you can't step back and see what you're doing could last for 100 years, 200 years.
It could undo anything positive that has been done, and people have laid down their lives to protect and to make these things move forward. You're undoing it for power.
For Marxist policies, you're gonna just destroy and tear a nation apart. Purposely do it. I mean, it's like those liars who are ignorant and those liars who know what they're doing. I mean, it's like chalkboard scratching to me that these people are willing to do these kind of things, these evil things, and then call them good, and then parade them around as good things, all the while being back in their little smoke-filled rooms coming up with these crazy plots as to how to move the populace. And these
there is definitely, and that's a great point, there is definitely a difference as far as accountability and responsibility as far as the people who knowingly deceive the masses, and then the people who are just useful idiots.
There's a big difference. There's a moral difference too.
But at the same point in time, I guess the people creating these problems really do know that the only way to affect this, you're not going to get it at the polling places. I mean, slowly, but you're going to affect these kind of changes by mob mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
The point is, he has the power to affect these kind of changes. And I don't see any character. I want to like Obama. I want to like our president. I do. I want to find him. But I don't like him as his character is so diffused.
Exactly. It's because of the character stuff. It's not because of the personal stuff. It's not because of that. It's because that's what they're trying so desperately to distract the country from. That the people who oppose him do not oppose him on these visceral levels. You know, I've been working on this theory for a little while. The reason that the left always goes to race, the reason, they'll hear a guy like this and they'll be like, man, these guys hate Obama because he's black. Well, I think the reason that they knee-jerk go to that is because when they look at the world, it really is these base bottom denominator, visceral things. They actually see people like that. They don't look at ideas. They look at all the bells and whistles. They look at the flesh. They look at the temporal. They look at the surface. And so they just assume that everybody else is doing that. So when you and I have genuine policy problems and ideological problems with the president, they just project their own kind of worldview onto us, and they think, well, that has to be because of the race, because that's what I'd be thinking. You know what I mean? I'd just be hating somebody that I didn't like for these elementary baby pool shallow reasons, and they don't ever factor in this possibility that you and me and millions of conservatives don't like actual ideas.
Yeah,
policy,
it's scary
serious
to show
stuff.
their hand like that, but that's true. That's really, and in most cases with really liberal people, it's this weird racism that we talked before about the racism of low expectations.
You are listening to the Atheist Antidote Show. À propos des productions